introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay, my name is Matthew Cote. I am 19 years old from New Westminster. Grew up in Aldergrove. Moved to Mission for my grade 11 year. Decided that shit wasn't working. Came out to Vancouver Island for a fresh start, and here I am.
Sure. Can you speak a little bit on your current interests and passions?
Right now, all I do is work, stack money, climb a corporate ladder. I got goals within my company. Want to be number one in Canada. Currently am. Trying to move back home. That's about it. That's all I do is just work. Asked me this 6 months ago, and we probably have a bit of a different story, but we're clean and proper now, so we're doing better.
What are you doing currently in terms of university, work, maybe an alternative route?
So I went to university for half a semester. Said no to that. That wasn't really working out because it wasn't really my passion. Decided to really pursue sales. So right now I am at Zumiez, number one in Canada, and still growing, aiming for number one in the company. Currently number 67 worldwide, so it's not too bad. Yeah, school wasn't working for me, so had to switch paths. School's not for everyone, that's for sure.
What motivated you to go down this path and drive off of that, going to school and trying to get a degree?
My dad. So I would have been the first Cote I'm the first Cote to graduate high school, first of all. Then I would have been the first Cote to graduate university. That would have been cool, but decided that, this traditional, 4 years of university, go to an internship, get a job, wasn't for me. So told my dad my game plan in sales, and he said that if I can do it, but if it's not going to work out, then I got to go back to school. So what motivates me is just kind of trying to prove him almost wrong, but right at the same time, prove him wrong that I can do this, but prove him right that, school's not the way it has to be, because he's always said that, like, you don't have to be in the norm. He has this saying as well too, that it's be the wise guy, not the fool, because the wise guy learns from the fool, and the fool learns from himself. So I try to live off of that as well too. Making my own mistakes is part of life, but I feel right now I'm doing pretty good with what I've chosen, so I'm happy with it.
I know you touched a little bit on some of your goals and your dreams earlier in the interview. I just want to touch a little bit on that in terms of dreams, just to start. I know dreams is a little iffy thing. Some people have dreams, some people don't. Do you have any dreams? And these dreams can be unrealistic, such as I want to be in the NBA, NBA or something like that, right? What are your dreams in general?
Well, I think the NBA is out of my path now. We messed that shot up a while ago during the summer, but it's okay. We're good. Well, let's just blame the knees, nothing else. Let's just say that. But my dreams right now are just, I want to be number one. I want to have that legacy of this is what he did within the company. This is how good he is. I want to, at Zumiez you got these big events and everything. I want to walk into the room and people be like, oh shit, that's Matt. 034, Vancouver Island, this is all the shit he did, and he's top dog. That's him. If you want something done, you go to him. That's kind of my dream. Regional manager of Canada is probably something I want to do too, because overlooking every store in Canada would be amazing, but also just kind of sponsoring events, emceeing it would be cool too. So it's kind of what I want to do. I don't really care about being super rich and all that. As long as I enjoy my job and I'm happy with what I'm doing, that's as rich as it could get, really.
And goals aren't for everybody, but it sounds like you have a few goals here.
Yeah.
Do you believe in goal setting?
I believe in goal setting, but I don't believe that they're set in stone.
Yeah.
I believe that you can change it at any point in your life. You do not need to, if you don't hit that goal, it is not a failure. It is just that you went down a different path and you hit a goal that you didn't think you would hit, or that wasn't even mine. If you would have asked me 3 years ago if you think I would have been number one in Canada for a skateboard shop, I would have said, hell no, I'm playing university basketball somewhere. But here I am, you know, so goals could change on an instant. So I believe in goal setting, but I don't believe in it being set in stone.
For sure. And since you do believe in goal setting, I just want to touch a little bit on your short-term and your long-term goals.
Yeah.
Do you have any short-term goals that you look to achieve within the next year or 2 years?
Yeah, so right now I'm trying to be number one within the company. So I have probably another 6 months until I get up on stage in front of the whole company for them to be like, this is the rank he hit, number one in Canada, this is his number in the company, kind of that. But definitely like by next year I want to be in the mainland with all my childhood friends I grew up with, some friends that I met along the way out here on the island, and have my own store and start kind of like my life, if that makes sense, you know, just kind of set up my future as how I want it to be. So that's probably my goals within these first 6 months to a year or two.
Yeah, and then looking further, you know, more long-term goal-wise, over the next 5 to 10 years, where do you see yourself right now? What's that?
I definitely see myself probably running the Canadian region. Obviously, my sales will dwindle if I'm running everything, but I definitely want to have that assertiveness within the company. I definitely see myself, you know, store to store, helping out people that's in my position, being like, hey, you can do this. This is what I did. It's possible. You just kind of have to follow a game plan within a year span and have some dedication, but you can do it. And I just kind of want to set up people for success the way that I've been giving it through people that have helped me at work. So that's my goals.
So, in having these goals, what are some of the ways you look to achieve these goals? Because to achieve these goals, you need benchmarks.
Long hours. Sales, just all I do is sell. Like, wake up every day going, I like my job, I'm gonna do this. Not having a victim mindset is probably the biggest thing for me. Like, even though something happens within my week or within the month, if you just brush it off and be like, it is what it is, and you just move on, then you can achieve what you want to. So that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna wake up, take every day as it is, not take it for granted, and keep on doing what I'm doing.
What are some of your favorite parts that you've experienced along your journey of life so far? Your key moments, maybe give us a top one, or maybe there's a top three that you...
like top moments in my life that I've endured? Like, that's probably like shaped me?
Whatever you see the question being.
I don't really have top moments just because, like, with everything that's happened in my life, it's all kind of been an uphill battle, you know? People are given certain stuff to start off with, people aren't. For me, you know, I had certain stuff that I'm grateful for, but I also had stuff that wasn't on the table at the start. So I'd probably definitely say like moving out here to Vancouver Island was a big kind of moment in my life because, you know, got away from everything that was happening on the mainland back home and kind of, it was a restart, you know? I got to not reinvent myself, but kind of give myself an actual chance, you know? Where I'm from, a lot of people don't get that chance of like digging themselves out of that hole, and I feel like that's what I did when I moved out here. I was like, all right, like restart, everything's new, I'm good to go. So I'd probably say that's my top one, is moving out here. But I definitely have like big moments of like, you know, my boys back home that I've known since grade 2, grade 1. It's like, those are big moments just meeting them, because those are like lifelong friends that are going to be there for you no matter what. So those are probably big moments as well for me.
For sure. You touched a lot about the challenges you faced, and it sounds like you faced a lot of challenges on your move and in your earlier life.
Yeah.
Do you mind touching a little bit on that and some of the other challenges you might have faced so far along your journey?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. Fuck, hold on. All right, yeah. So, grew up in Aldergrove. Well, technically we started off in Surrey. Wasn't the best. House burnt down. House got robbed. Surrey's not the greatest place to live, is what it is. Moved to Aldergrove with my biological mom, Nicole, and her husband. Lived out there for a while, and then they got divorced. Things went downhill. I'd probably say the divorce was probably a big pivot in life, because that's kind of when my biological mom kind of like, you know, stopped, let's say, caring a bit, you know, kind of let the leash go on me and let me run free, which is, you know, kids need to be able to run free, but other than that, it's kind of whatever.
Can you grab your plate?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you.
No worries.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Is there
Yeah.
anything you two need right now?
Could I get a water, please?
Yeah,
Thank
for
you so
sure.
much. Yeah. You thought I was gonna order another beer. Where was I? Yeah, so she let off the leash, basically, which was, you know, kids need freedom, but the freedom I got was more of a you're on your own kind of thing, which kind of sucked, you know. She was a bit of a drunk, some might say, dabbled in substances growing up. So, you know, you grew up with that. Had a little brother that I kind of raised by myself a little bit. He had his dad, but, you know, I got lucky, had my dad there for me quite a bit. Got to see him on the weekends, but growing up as a kid, you know, you get told to not say certain things, and I always got told to not say certain things. So definitely big moments like that I had to battle adversity through. Is like I lived on couches, mattresses at friends' places. You know, I wasn't really at home the most. Definitely, let's just say, suffered through a little bit of abuse, but you know, that just makes you stronger personally. Like, you know, wake up now and you're like, yeah, I went through that, but like I matured quicker, and I really admired maturing quicker through other people as well too, because it, you know, kind of shows other people's mindsets as well too, because, you know, people that like don't go through anything, you know, they kind of go through life not knowing struggle, and I feel like if you don't know struggle, then you don't know how to battle adversity. So that kind of stuff. Yeah, thank you so much.
No worries.
Yeah, so then moved in with my dad around, I don't know, 15, 16. Tried to get emancipated. People that don't know what emancipation is, means you try to legally revoke yourself from your parents. Figured out you can't get emancipated from just one parent. It's gotta be both. That shit sucks. Tried to get my birth certificates erased with her name off of it. That didn't work. Had to go through lawyers, courts, all this fun stuff. Had to go talk to a specialist, figure out what was going on. They didn't know, so that was kind of like, next thing you know, they were like, all right, you're gonna be with him full time, and that's kind of like where I would say my life started going upwards. Found basketball, basically sports, threw myself into that to cope with everything. And then around, I'd probably say, yeah, let's say 16, I was like, not in the greatest mind space, still trying to outrun my biological mom, and decided, I was like, you know what, I tried to move to Montreal. I was like, Pops, let's go to Montreal. Like, and he asked me why, and I plain out lied. I was like, oh, I just think it would be cool, you know, better sports out there. I don't fucking know any sports out there. I can't even speak fluent French. So like, and then I was like, what about Vancouver Island? He's like, you know, that'd be cool, you know, like definitely like lower the housing costs and everything like that, better financial situation for him. 5 months later, we're in Nanaimo, and at first I thought I outran her. And then I learned that you can't outrun your past. You got to face it head on. So I'm still battling that today, but you know, wake up, take one step forward every day. So I'd probably say that's those past steps I've taken.
Yeah. And then how did you overcome these challenges on a day-to-day basis? You say you still even finding them now.
Yeah. Well, let's start at first. I tried to consume it with alcohol. Definitely had a little bit of a problem when things got really bad. I think I started drinking when I was 13, so that's probably where it stemmed from. So I started drinking when I was 13, started drinking drugs around when I was 14, so that shit kind of spiraled me quick. Then after that, when I realized I couldn't live like that, sports, you know, I found a routine every day helped me a lot. So I just kind of threw myself into that, had a routine. It was great, it was amazing. Then I moved out here, got back into that routine, and then fell back down that dark path again of just hating everything, fell back into alcohol, everything like that. Then I went to school. I figured out school's not for me, and then work has been such a saving grace for me. You know, if you just throw yourself into work and find a work-life balance as well, like now I'm actually able to have one beer instead of 10. You know, I can pace myself, and then I could go to work the next morning, you know, so that's how I would battle it. I'd say just going through those ups and downs, because you got to have, you know, your downs to have your ups, so I'll probably say that.
What do you think the biggest obstacle is going to be that you anticipate coming up in your future here?
Ooh. With work, I'd probably have to say, like, you know, getting over that, like, hump of being better than everyone and outselling the whole worldwide of Zumiez. Personally though, is I plan on moving back to Vancouver with a bunch of people by January. But with that comes my past life as well too. You know, I have a little brother and everything out there too, so he is still connected with Nicole, my biological mom. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to deal with. I always said the next time I would see her would be at a funeral or a wedding. Still hoping I don't run into her. Did run into her one time. And ironically enough, it was outside of a liquor store, so that was kind of, you know, me and my friends joke about that. It is what it is, but I'd probably say my biggest like challenge coming up in my life is battling the demons back home.
Shifting the focus away from that a little bit, I want to talk about the influential people in your life.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, do you want to talk about a little bit of
Yeah.
the influential people in your life as of right now?
Yeah, so as of right now, it's got to be my dad, Pops. He's gone through, it almost feels like a lot more than I have, but he's the one person that really like connects and understands with what I've also been through. He's the one that tells me to keep on going every day, you know. I also believe in tough love, so like he doesn't sugarcoat anything for me, treats me as equal and tells me how it is, and if I fuck up, he tells me. But if I'm doing good, he also tells me that too, so it's a great balance with that as well too. So I'd probably say right now it's got to be him. If I have to say like in my past, I had a gym teacher named Brody Pierce, and I would honestly say like he saved me. Like he would open up the gym at lunch for me, he would open up the gym after hours for me, he would drive me from to practice basically. So I'd probably say right now it's got to be my dad, just because everything he's doing for me. But back then, definitely it was Brody Pierce. He was also my coach. So, yeah.
Now, looking back on the past year that we just had,
Yeah.
what are you the most proud of?
Most proud of?
Yeah.
Ooh, over the past year, well, it's got to be my work. That's all I do. It's my bread and butter. It feels like, you know, being number one in Canada right now is also like a huge accomplishment too. Like people see it as it's just a skate shop, but we are pretty corporate. Like we're worldwide. Like we got Canada, States, Australia, all of Europe almost as well too. So like to be number one in Canada and 67 within the company, it's a huge accomplishment that I feel like might go under the radar just because it's like Zumiez is a skate shop, it's whatever, but it takes a lot of hard work, and I gotta say I'm proud of the commitment I've actually put forward.
And then, looking back at the year again, if you could, would you change anything and do anything differently?
No, I wouldn't, because I feel like all the things I've done that might be like a fuck up or success is all lessons as well too. So like if I didn't do certain things, I wouldn't have learned, you know, those lessons along the way. I wouldn't have met those people along the way. Like I don't regret anything in my past. Everything that's happened, I'm fine with. It just kind of brought me to where I am now, which I'm super grateful for. Because if, let's say, something else did happen, I might not be sitting here right now. I might not be where I am within my company. I might not be where I am within life. So I don't regret anything. I know that I definitely have had some mistakes, but they're learning lessons that I'm not taking for granted.
What are you most excited for in your future here coming up?
Definitely the traveling, like the adventures I'm about to have, like with everyone growing up as well too, like becoming their own person. Like we're all gonna be able to find out what we could really do within ourselves. Like when I move to the mainland and have all these friends out there as well, like hang out with them mainly every day. Like I'm excited to see where that goes too, because like they're gonna watch me grow, but I'm gonna get to watch them grow as well too. A lot of my friends are in trades, so I got one that just finished his level 2 in electrical. I got one that's going back to school for welding. I got one in university right now that's doing his classes. So it's definitely going to be kind of fun to see where everyone goes, because I feel like we all have such, even though like for them, we all grew up the same back home, we all went on very different life paths, but we're all still like a good friend group as well too. So it's going to be exciting to see where everyone still goes, but even as far as they go, we're still going to stick together no matter what. So it's going to be exciting to see.
And on the flip side of that, what are you worried for? What are you kind of cautious about moving into your future here?
Bills. I don't want to pay that much rent. Like, living on the mainland is not cheap, but I'd probably say the time that I'm gonna have to put into it, because I know I'm gonna have to, you know, do some gives and give some like give and take kind of moments as well too. Like I'm gonna have to miss out on some experiences to further myself, which I'm not looking forward to. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna be stressed about that. I'm excited for it, see where it goes, but definitely not looking forward to the whole like moving aspect of everything, of, you know, packing up your house, saying goodbye to the parents, you know, kind of like moving on from that like child point of your life to your adult life. is definitely a big step for people. So it's kind of like, it's bittersweet, or it's like, damn, you know, I love you, Dad, but I gotta go kind of thing. So it's gonna suck, but it is what it is.
Do you think you've changed as a person over the last year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I used to be quicker to reaction. I used to be pretty, you know, like on edge all the time. You know, something happened, I'd react quick. But now I find that I'm just kind of, if something happens, I'm smart enough now to take my time, think about it, not react in the situation, just kind of ponder, you know, make better decisions for myself, not in the moment, that kind of thing. So I definitely say I'm different that way. Mentally, I think I'm in a better headspace now too. You know, I don't got school to worry about, just got work, which is fine with me because I love it. School, I didn't have any passion for it, never wanted to do it. Work, I've been wanting to do this, so I would definitely say that.
What do you think are your best qualities?
I'm good looking as hell. I'm joking. I'm not joking. I know I'm good looking. But best qualities. Shit. Damn, that's tough to say on the spot too, cause like, you gotta stay humble.
You know when you're doing your careers and they ask you.
Yeah. And you're sitting on that computer like, fuck, like.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, fact, copy and paste. Can't do that now. Yeah, honestly, I'd probably say best qualities of myself is I don't overthink stuff too much. You know, like if something happens, I'm not gonna dwell on it. I'm right now I'm the type of person who just kind of puts stuff in the past. It is what it is. Like if you do wrong, I'm not gonna be your homie, but I'm not gonna hold it against you. Wish you no harm, wish you no hate. But probably say that's one of my best qualities is that I'm forgiving, put stuff in the past. I'd probably say my commitment as well too. Like when I got my eye on something, I'm not gonna stop. Like I'm very dedicated. So I'd probably say those are my two best qualities right now, other than my looks.
What are some other personal qualities you'd like to develop or you want to work on a little bit more in this next little bit here?
Ooh, that I want to work on? I don't know. Like I feel like I'm a well-rounded person. Like obviously there's stuff you got to work on as a person. I guess I think I should probably be more understanding sometimes, you know, because when something happens to someone else and they overreact, I'm not the type of guy to be like, how are you feeling? Like, are you okay? I'm the type of guy to be like, just get over it. It is what it is. Move on. Like, go for a drink. It's whatever. Like, so I think I should work on my sensitivity. I think that's a quality I should work on because I'm not a sensitive person, but it is what it is.
In your eyes, how do you think society views the path you've chosen? Does it fit into social norms?
No, I don't think it does. Especially with the stuff in my past and, you know, everything that's happened, definitely doesn't. My dad always said that if you look at a glass box from the outside into my life, you definitely have some concerns, questions, comments. So I don't think it does. A lot of people have that traditional life of, you know, grow up with two parents, you stay in that one town your whole life, you go to the school you want to go to, you go to university, you get a good job, you find a wife, you find a dog, you have kids, you get the white picket fence. That's not me. I don't really care to have that as me either too, so I don't think I fit into norms. But I'm not saying I'm an outcast, I'm not saying like I'm different from everyone else, I just went down a different route than a lot of other people go through, so that's about it. I've had even people come up and say to me, oh, you're at Zumiez now, or I even had someone come up to me and ask me how rehab was. I never went to rehab. Who said that? Like, so I definitely do think people see it that way, but people don't know, you know, like I'm not out there posting everything I do online, or I'm not out there, you know, telling everyone about my success. I'm just kind of doing me. So if I stick to myself, people have their questions and comments, but I don't really care that much. It's how I do things, and I'm happy with it, so, yeah.
Yeah, and I know you just touched on it a little bit there, but just asking it, do you feel supported or judged for the choices you've made, and does it ever bother you?
Supported by the right people, yeah. Like, you know, my dad's always been there for me. He's always kind of like put me on the right path. I've definitely done some things where he's like, you're not doing it right, you do it this way, which is fair, you know, that's your obligation as a parent. But I've definitely, there's people that's definitely fall stray to what I've been doing. You know, they're like, I'm not gonna be along your side for this, or like, I don't support this, or like, you dropped out of school, like, that's why, how can you do that? So there's I definitely say that it's like a yin and yang of like I've had people help me, but there's definitely been people that's been like, no, I'm done. But when you go through those hard times and the people that stick with you, those are just your real friends. That's how you know. So.
What advice would you give someone going down a similar path as you?
Oh, keep on going. Like, don't get discouraged. Like, it's long, it's rough. You went through the stuff I went through in the past as well too. It is what it is. Don't, have that victim mindset of like, oh my gosh, poor me. Be like, yeah, it happened to me, but look where I am now. Like, I'm a better person because of it. I know what to do. Like, I'd probably just say, don't wallow in self-pity. It sucks what happened to people like me, or even worse to other people too, but like, you got that victim mindset, you're always going to be one step behind everyone else. But if you kind of use it as power and motivation to get to where you're going, then you're going to get there quicker. So, yeah.
And what do you think the best advice you've received so far in your life has been?
Oh, damn, that's deep. Damn. I'm trying to think about everything my dad has said to me. I gotta keep his quotes tattooed on my body too. So he's always told me control is power. So control is power is a big thing. If you're always in control, you're always in power. Because as soon as you lose that control, you lose all power because no one takes you seriously. If you're all over the place all the time, no one's gonna actually, take you as a reliable option. Definitely control is power. I think I said it earlier too, that the wise guy learns from the fool, and the fool learns from himself. So I'd probably say learning off of other people's mistakes is something that I feel like I've, looked from the outside in and be like, okay, I saw that happen to that person. I'm gonna make sure I don't do that. I'm gonna do it this way. But I also learn from my own mistakes as well too. So I'd probably say those are the two best advice I've ever been given from my dad.
Sure.
Yeah. Alrighty. I feel like I'm vlogging. How about Jaden does this all the time? Okay. 2 years from now, like Jaden said,